Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Kansoi Fighter Live Developer Q&A Part 2 for Steam Next Fest. I am once again Logan Jensen, head of marketing, PR, and all that here at Cersei Studios for Kansoi Fighter.
I'm Shane Helms, the director.
I'm Sean. I do programming stuff.
Yeah.
And then we have another special guest all the way from Japan, our lead artist, Jas Carpenter.
Hello. There's going to be a significant delay, but I'm here.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, could be worse.
There's about a 4-second delay, but he's here, so it's really great that that we can have you join us because of the time difference. It is very rare that we even get to really do too much. So it's we're really excited to be able to have you here.
Yeah.
So, but it is day 5 of Steam Next Fest. I hope you guys have enjoyed all of the demos that are currently out on Steam right now. I know that there's quite a bit. The one that I've been playing is Stormgate, which is that new RTS. From,
I'm curious
from
about
like
that
StarCraft and all that. It's good and it's pretty solid. I'm curious because there's only like 2 classes or 2 races right now.
Yeah, that they've announced.
Anymore, but
I assume they might, at least an expansion, but yeah.
But other than that, if you have not tried our game, by all means, please go to our Steam page, download the free. Right, if you're not there already, download the demo and let us know how it goes. We're going to be playing some online multiplayer matches here live during stream, and maybe we'll go and pair up against you, and maybe you'll be able to fight us. And if you win, congratulations, you beat the developer.
Yep.
But other than that, I think, is there anything does anybody else want to add anything? Jas? I mean, this is like your first time on Kansoi Fighter Live in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the earlier stream and I was really impressed by the AI. So,
It's gotten pretty good.
I'm sure we'll
looking
see it
forward
on
to
full
watching you
display
guys
here
again.
again tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. Or today.
yeah, I was surprised by Yuraku. Yuraku surprised me.
Yeah, no, Yuraku kicked my ass several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yours.
My excuse is that I've
also
got
kicked, Sean.
Yeah. I was going to say, my excuse is that I've got cameras between me and the screen, so I'm trying to make it work, but we'll go with that.
My excuse is we're still tweaking some of the values, but like we said last time, it's good to start hard and we can make it easier on different difficulties. So,
yeah.
Well, in that, let's go ahead and switch over to some actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Shane, why don't you go ahead and just start an arcade, and maybe not against Yuraku unless you want to do.
So I can talk a little bit while I'm trying to play. But yeah, why don't we give folks a quick rundown of what the game is for people that are new to Kansoi Fighter. Kansoi Fighter, as you can see, is a fully hand-drawn fighting game.
by Jas.
Yeah. And it's sort of an homage to 90s era fighters, sort of your Street Fighter 2, MK2 era fighters. And the core concept is that our lead character, Ayumu, is trapped in a deep coma. And each of the fighters in the game represent a different aspect of his personality. And they're thrust into conflict as their world begins to fall apart. So we've got 4 of our characters available to try out in the demo. And the majority of our game modes are available in there. This is the first outing we have featuring online multiplayer. So definitely give that a shot, and we hope we get a chance to play with some of you guys here on stream. Getting my butt kicked right now by Kyoki.
Yeah, we have actually a good amount of people viewing us on Steam right now. So again, if you are watching us, by all means, download the game. Shouldn't take very long because luckily it's a pretty small package, and you can go ahead and fight us while we're
or each other.
Right, or each other.
Yeah.
But Jazz, since we have
and wish list.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
and
wish
wishlist.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it later, but definitely wishlist the game. For those who are interested, we are planning on going into early access on Steam this spring, so in the next few months. So definitely stay tuned. We also do this streaming series, Console Fighter Live, about every month or two, where we give you guys a behind-the-scenes look at the game as we work on it. So follow us on social, and you can follow along with our progress.
Yeah, and we just launched our official Discord as well, so that should be at the bottom. There's a banner that says, join enter the fray with our Discord. So we'd love to have you join the community. Jazz, since you're here, why don't there's a question that was brought up that I'm kind of interested about. So when we put out our not trials, but I guess auditions for when we were looking for an artist, what made you go the route of what made you go the route that you did with these characters? Because these
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, every piece of this game is beautiful, and I know that I work
Slightly
on the
biased,
game,
yeah.
so like I'm a little biased,
Got
but
lots
it's
of
just
compliments
overall like
and more.
it's so cool. So, do you want to kind of walk us through? Like,
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So again, I have a little bit of delay because I'm coming from Japan, but I am not very good at fighting games, but I always loved the art style of nearly every fighting game, and just I wanted to know what I could do differently that hasn't been done before, and I felt more of this like a dreamy kind of ink washy feel to a fighting game would really stand out. I know our fighters are more like anime style, but the backgrounds and the transitions and effects are a little bit more like Chinese ink style. So I really like that combination. So,
yeah,
Yeah, even at a lot of the conventions we go to, our banners and the artwork always draws a lot of attention, so it's pretty nice.
yeah. I mean, when we were in the so how we did our art process for the game, we originally put out basically a audition. I don't know what it's called in the art world, but basically, hey, we're looking for an artist to work on this fighting game. Here
almost a
is a
double.
description.
Is that a draw?
I think
It
it
is.
is.
Yeah, you're both
Oh, we
dead.
got a double KO on
Oh,
screen.
nice.
Oh man.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah. Damn.
So does nobody get their win? For
No,
this? Yeah,
it's a draw
okay.
currently.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I think. Oh, yeah, no.
Oh gosh,
But
Yuraku! I told you Yuraku.
Yeah,
yeah,
she's tricky.
why is Yuraku? So in our Discord, I have a little bit of I got a little bio blurb for each of us, and I asked all of us, who is your favorite Kansoi fighter character? You, Jazz, said Yuraku. Why is that?
Yeah. It's, for a number of reasons. So, like, when I was living in Kansas City with you guys, I was connected to a really nice art and fashion scene. And one of my friends, Linda, was the inspiration for this character. And so I always said, I'll put you in the game. And so I kind of modeled the character after her and used my favorite style of fighting game character, which is like the sort of, how can I say it? Like, my favorite Tekken character is Xiao Yu, and I like Xiao Yu because she's confusing to other people, and I'm not a great fighting gamer, so to be able to use her confusing moves helped me win a lot of matches. So I wanted to create a character that use that kind of like confusion. Yeah.
Yes. But so what I was I was telling a little bit blurb story earlier about kind of how we went through this process, but we put out this just here is the character, like this is the background. Character. Here's kind of like what maybe we're looking at, but
finding style a little bit.
It wasn't. There was no pictures, no nothing, and so it was. We had several people kind of give us their artwork, and there was one artist that they were really good, but to me, I felt that it was very traditional kind of anime. I mean, it still would look dope, but when we saw Jazz's, I was just like, I don't see this as being a fighting game kind of character, so let's do that. And that's kind of where we went with this. And
sliver of health.
I'm really, I'm excited that we did because it's just so unique.
Well, and I think that also speaks to like the vibe as a studio we're kind of going for. Is we want to do things a little differently. I think the tone of the game overall, the story, and just kind of like the concept behind it is something you don't typically see in the fighting game scene, and we thought it was a cool idea, and that's how we
can you just briefly tell us what the story was about again?
Yeah, for those just joining, so Kansai Fighter is a fighting game where the lead character, Yumu, is trapped in a deep coma, and each of the fighters in the game represents a different aspect of his personality, sort of in his inner mind, as their world begins to get torn apart. So we've got 4 of our characters in the demo, in the Next Fest demo that you can try out now. Ooh.
Close.
Oh.
Nice.
But the final game will have 10 playable characters. We're pretty excited to be able to put it in people's hands to try it out and see what we think.
Has a full story mode. There's pretty much all the modes you'd expect.
Oh, that's a good point. Let's talk a little bit about the modes. So we've got our traditional arcade mode. We're playing through kind of a short stack here just to kind of show off the arcade stack. We have a variety of versus modes. There's local player versus player mode for offline play. We have local network mode if you want to play with someone on another system. Maybe they're using a Steam Deck or another laptop or Android phone for their system. We also have online multiplayer right now. You can just hop into a random online match with somebody else that wants to try the game. Eventually, we will have support for in-game friends so that you can add your cross-platform friends. You can play with them now if you happen to have somebody who's trying the game on another device. You also can use Steam invites to invite your friends to your lobby and play a match directly with them. We have full training mode that features, 14 different tutorial segments in the final game. Ooh. The core 4 in the demo right now, so you can learn all the mechanics. There's also sort of a free play training mode, and we have a variety of customizable options in the game. And yes, our story mode features 9 acts of story where you get a chance to play each of the characters as they kind of help Ayumu recover his lost memories of how he ended up in a coma in the first place. So, a lot to enjoy, and we're excited to bring more of this to you guys beyond the demo once we launch in early access this spring. So definitely wishlist the game below if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for when that drops.
Yeah, and like Shane said, I mean, we have the game currently running on Steam Deck. So for those, my fellow Dexters, if you will, looks absolutely great on the Steam Deck.
Yep.
It looks even more great on the OLED Steam Deck.
Yeah, it pops.
And the colors really do pop. And then again on Android devices. For those of you who are like, well, what about iOS? It's going to come.
It's on our roadmap.
It is, but
we're trying to get one version out.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
do all that.
But it's worth noting. So the Steam Deck version is a completely native build.
Yes.
It is built directly for Steam Deck, and on PC, Console Fighter is supported on Windows, Mac, and yes, Linux. So you can run it on pretty much any system you have available.
Very low hardware requirements.
Yeah. So we really want to, make the game available for everybody in the community to enjoy together. So, yeah.
So
If I can interrupt for a second.
Yeah.
What wasn't there something in the last stream where you said we need help from the Steam Deck community to verify
Good point.
So if
the
for those of
functionality?
you, so for those of you who have Steam Decks, and you're a part of, I don't know if it's the official Steam Deck, but it's got 20,000 people in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of the bigger.
The main Steam Deck Discord.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they actually just added a "Hey, try out our game on Steam Deck" section. That's in the same channel as the Steam Deck chat, Steam 1 and 2. And you'll actually find a link to our game in there because yes, we would love feedback on how this game runs on Steam Deck
And other systems as well.
Right.
I mean,
it doesn't have to only be Steam Deck, but
yeah.
I mean anything. What's really exciting is this is the first time our game is coming out to you guys, unless you have gone to PAX South, which hasn't been around since 2020.
Yeah.
PAX East, or if you're local to Kansas City, where our studio is based out of, one of the local conventions here.
Yeah.
We did
so this,
Indie PopCon one time.
right?
Yeah.
And the one time that we went to Indie PopCon in Indianapolis, but this is.
Hop in a match.
Oh, sure.
Or anybody watching.
Yeah.
So
Hop into
are you
online
guys doing
now.
an online match?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, we're going to hop
Nice.
online and see how this works.
But this is the
So
first
how
time.
does the matchmaking work? It's just kind of random.
It is completely random right now, just for the Next Fest demo. So anybody and everybody who wants to join up, you can hop in. Now, if you do have a friend that wants to play with you, you can use the Steam Friends list to invite your friend from the menu, and you can play a match with them.
It makes me nervous every time you try to connect because that was my coup.
It works just fine.
It has been doing good.
Yeah.
We made a lot of improvements.
So let's go over really quickly kind of what we're seeing when we do online matchmaking. So once we get connected, both users can pick your characters. Explain what that little coin flippy thing is.
Yeah, so after you're picking your characters for now,
Yeah, what is that?
it's the stage selection. We flip a coin as to who gets to pick the stage right now. Now we are planning in
Just out of range. Oh,
dude.
nice.
Yep. Your sword didn't despawn.
Oh,
now.
jeez. Poor kid.
Got me with the chip. We are planning for the early access version forward. There will be more of a post-match and rematch type system. So right now, you can hop in, try a match with somebody. It'll go back to the menu, and you can keep hopping in matches. Eventually, you'll be taken to a little post-match screen where you can accrue victories over the course of multiple matches, and choose if you want to change characters or stage and continue playing matches against them. Or go back to the menu. So that's not there now, but that will help iron out some of the details around who gets to pick stage selection and things like that across different matches.
Yeah.
But for now, it's pretty randomized. So
Another thing is we have locked out some of the characters who are essentially done, but we just wanted
Yeah.
to limit what all was available for the demo.
I'm like, I want to say something,
Uh-huh.
but I want to kick his ass.
yeah, and just if you have the chance to try the demo, definitely try it now. I think after Next Fest and a couple other events to come, we are potentially going to be scaling down the demo to 2 characters. we're still kind of firming up our plans for that, but that'll be closer to when we get into the early access phase.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd say a lot of the game is getting close to being done. A lot of the character work is done, minus pretty much the last character. A lot of the story at least has a first pass on it. A lot of the music has a first pass on it. So we're kind of in the polish phase and adding specific nice
and balancing. There's definitely a lot of balancing work still ongoing. I've got spreadsheets that are probably wider than the table of all the different balancing statistics. We've talked about that and showed it on stream at least once or twice before.
We talked a little bit about AI last time, and we have some tweaks to do for that. Mainly just tweaking values to make it feel better.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to quickly talk about the AI?
Sure. Why don't you hop into like an arcade stack or... and then I'll talk a little bit about the AI. So yeah, one of the unique things, I kind of mentioned earlier that Kansei Fighter is sort of a tribute to 90s fighters, but with some modern twists.
Yes, who do you want me to play as?
Are you good with Yuraku?
He's gonna try.
Right, I guess we're gonna find out.
Yep.
So yeah, we have some kind of modern twists on the game design, and one of those things is that we have our innovative new 4-score AI system that powers all of our CPU fighters. So what is 4-score AI? Well, it's basically a different way of approaching fighting game AI, where each of our fighters has kind of the list of all the different actions that they could take at any given moment, and they forecast the outcome of all of those behaviors. And as they do that, they score them on a couple different metrics to see how effective they are. And based on the results of those forecasts, they select an action. And they do this very fast, repeatedly, over and over and over and over throughout the match. And they'll select a variety of offensive and defensive actions from moment to moment. And it's been a really interesting approach. But it's something we haven't really seen done very, very much in the fighting game space. So it's interesting because it can adapt to your playstyle pretty effectively, and it scales pretty well on the difficulty spectrum, as we saw last time.
Yeah.
What difficulty did you pick this time?
I think it was just normal.
Okay. So we might not get too hung up here. But yeah, it can be pretty challenging. There are some cool advantages that gives us as game developers as well.
I think I have a feeling I know what we're both trying to do.
For example, the game is basically responsive to balancing adjustments just by the design of that, because the game, the AI will simulate those behaviors and play out whatever the current balance is and take into account its scoring methodology. So we can make balancing adjustments very quickly and kind of see the outcome, and the AI just sort of adapt to changes in balance and in the mechanics. So
yeah, when we tweak the AI, we're tweaking. Yeah, how often does it try to act defensively, or
it's
different things?
A lot of things that affect the flavor of its behavior selection and the difficulty curve.
Yes.
So we really designed 4-score to try to be like really difficult on the high end, and then have some ways to scale that down to lower difficulty levels so it's a little more regulated. So it's been a great system since we've got it in the game. And
if you're like me and more of a visual learner in regards to what they just said, on our Steam page, if you go down to the 4-score system, there's a really good kind of visual.
There's an image that animation that sort of shows sort of what the 4-score system looks like.
I always forget. So there's the bow.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right.
Down, back, punch, and repeatedly tap punch. Oh, come on. There you go.
Oh, by the way, for anyone joining us, please wishlist the game. And
yeah, that always helps. And then you'll know when we go into early access.
So, Jess, kind of, why don't you share with us your kind of design choice with Kenta, since I'm fighting him?
Kenta came around the time I was studying like Maori culture. in New Zealand. So I was kind of modeling some stuff I learned about their culture with Kenta. I can't say I'm an expert in that culture, but I was really impressed by their style and design.
I can see some of the influence, like with the tattoos.
Yeah, the tattoos were interesting because we had to basically hand paint those into each frame.
Yep.
In post. Weren't most of them? I think were in post. But
yeah,
I think he turned out really, really awesome.
And if you were just seeing kind of why Yuraku was flashing there, so every character has their own kind of super special moves. What's really cool about Yuraku's is she goes invisible. And so on your end as the player, you kind of see her flash. But if we were online, the other opponent would not see you. So the positive with that is they don't see you and you're doing more damage. The negative is that if they hit you, so even though they don't see you, but if they do, if they are able to hit you, you're going to take more damage. So there's a little bit of...
And they eventually knock you out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's buffed in that state. But yeah, she's also more susceptible.
I haven't tried it, but she has that utility move where she can pretend to be hurt, and if she gets hit, she recovers. Is that right?
Yeah, she'll absorb that damage as health.
Logan's triggered it a couple times accidentally.
Does she then... If she's doing her special, does she get more health? I haven't tried that. I'm interested.
You're talking about
the utility maneuver. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Utility.
So forward back punch. Yeah, it costs a unit of charge to perform, so you can't just sit there spamming it indefinitely.
So she couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And she probably couldn't do that during the special because...
Yeah, Yuraku, her
in theory
specials...
you'd have to build up enough charge.
Yeah, her specials burn a lot of charge to do them. Like, even laying the holding screen requires charge to execute, so she does have to manage that, and that does mean you kind of need to play her a little more strategically to get a full meter, to get access to her super. There you go. There. So pulling off her utility maneuver,
nice.
Reabsorbing some health. So
if they hit you with a big attack, you can gain a lot of health back.
Yeah, I mean, especially if somebody does their super special.
Yeah.
That can heal some major.
And I guess that would leave you able to during their super.
Yeah.
Nice.
Feeling better.
Oh, I didn't realize
That's
I
so
lost
cool.
against her.
the first time. Currently, you guys are fighting on the back of Baku, who is Kyoki's feathery friend. He has the ability to size morph down to a tiny bird or up to his full size, and is one of the stages available in the game. You got her on the
thing. That's
nice.
What was your inspiration for Kyoki's character, Jazz?
Kyoki, that's a good question. I don't quite remember because she's one of the first ones, I believe.
Yeah.
Pretty early,
I made. And so it was maybe thinking back to old JRPGs where there would be like a floating castle level.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, those people always had like halos around their arms and legs. I don't quite remember, but just kind of a floaty gymnastic character.
Yeah, bubbly and happy.
Yeah.
Bubbly and happy. Yeah. And I think we got some fan art of Kyoki.
We did.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Fun during that show. They were so excited about the game.
And if you guys feel compelled to draw any fan art, definitely join our official Kansai Fighter Discord down below so you can share that with the community.
I like how this version of it, her water is basically like red
blood.
wine.
It's
yeah,
blood.
Red wine.
Yeah, red wine. Yeah, we mentioned this before, but these are kind of placeholders, the inverted characters, and if you pick two of the same character, we have a little more work to do to get actual palette swaps in the game. That's something hopefully we can get in time for early access.
Yeah, we have some ideas of how to pull it off easily. Otherwise,
but
we'd have to redraw a lot of characters.
Part of the complication is that this is running completely on our own engine and tool set, so I don't think we mentioned that today, but yeah, this is built from the ground up. Everything you guys see here, the rollback netcode, the multi-platform support,
even one of the
engine.
internal engine image formats.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what I was getting to is one of the other aspects of the AEA engine is that we developed our own custom graphics format that provides really good compression while preserving good quality on our assets. And so we just got to bake in actual multi-palette support into that standard.
Yep.
And then it'll be available in the game. And we may have multiple character color palettes that we look at adding, so you can pick a different color scheme for your fighter, kind of in the vein of like Street Fighter 2. How you could kind of select between a couple different presets there. So
you're about to lose it. Oh,
no!
There we go.
I guess
do we have it where it's always the Mura version is the last one?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
In the current stack, and then there's something
mystery
afterward. So there typically will be more to the arcade stack, but maybe in the release version, there's some things you have to do to get access to this final tier of the arcade.
Oh, man. What's this ominous background? A corrupt force lurks in a distant stronghold.
Yeah,
another castle.
basically, I guess.
Well, why don't you talk? Let's go ahead and I'm gonna join multiplayer. So again, for those of you watching, hop in, fight. let's go. But why don't you just talk about?
Hold on, before you start, can you show people how to join online?
Yeah,
sure.
Very slowly show them.
Yeah, absolutely. So within our main menu, we have like story, arcade, and so on. So in this case, you're going to want to go to versus, and then you have two options. Player, so this is going to be like if you are local to your machine and you want to do a 1v1 match with a buddy, maybe an enemy, who knows? That's where you would do that. Network is going to be when you're going to want to do an online match, and then CPU is just you versus a CPU.
Yeah. Network, we also support, like if you're on the same Wi-Fi as well, but that's that local option here. Versus online is everybody.
Gotcha. Yeah. So let's say that we're
so
doing
local is Wi-Fi and online is online. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the local would be like, let's say that you are hosting a tournament.
Yeah.
I guess.
Or just you have a friend over and you guys both have your own Steam decks and you want to go head to head.
And you don't want to go online with people. You just want to have it be just local to your Wi-Fi. That's where you would go.
Yep.
But go on to.
I will say we do also support inviting through Steam currently, and then we're going to support inviting through other platforms as well potentially.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, technically, Construct Fighter does support full cross-platform play right now. We just don't have a way at the moment for you to add a friend from another platform to your profile in the game yet, but there will be a friends view in this network play menu where you can add friends, send them invites, join them directly, and so on, no matter what platform they're on. So.
Yep. One of the next things I'm working on.
And then what? But why don't you? Do you want to talk about? So the big thing with fighting games is how multiplayer works, because there's a lot of issues with fighting games and multiplayer. So do you want to kind of talk about
I know you have Sean. Shop.
Me?
Yeah, come on, you got this. So rollback netcode, right? So one of the cool things about the Fourscore AI system that we talked about earlier is that gives us the ability to sort of snapshot the game at any time and replay that. And that same logic is exactly what you need to do rollback netcode. In a nutshell, the way rollback works is obviously when you and I are playing online, there's a delay, right? When I hit a button, it's going to take time to get to you. And so by the time you get it, I already hit that button a while ago, right? So rollback lets your system be able to rewind the game to the moment where that button was pressed, simulate me pressing it, and then roll it back to where it should be now so that it can account for the network delay and just provides a much better fighting game experience. So, Kansai Fighter has full written from the ground up rollback netcode. I think we've got it pretty dang solid at this point. There are a few more just core optimizations to the main gameplay we want to do to aid it, but we're really happy with the performance of it. Internally, we've done some testing across the US, and it's been really solid, so we're pretty happy with it. But we definitely could use some more help testing it out. So again, if you haven't already, please download the NextFest demo, try it out, let us know what your experience is so we can try to make it even better.
Yep.
Feeling better.
To be fair, I'm very out of practice.
And wish list.
Yes, and
Yes.
I usually open with like Kenta to just test network, and then don't really use him.
Oh, well, you got to get some more practice in.
Yeah.
What's also nice is you can go into the menu
I
and look at
could.
some of your move list.
Yeah.
So while he's doing that,
Can you
let me
show
just
us?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and go into the move
Well,
list.
you need to do it, Logan, because you're streaming.
Oh, that's right.
You going back into game.
So this is our move list. What's nice is it's not super hard to kind of get these controls down because it's either a lot of different combinations of like down forward punch, back forward punch, forward kick, so on and so forth. So it for those of you who don't typically play fighting games or they're not good at fighting games, which I mean, come on, like
Me.
everybody can. So
It's a lot more accessible, though. I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
like we've had a lot of people from like pro players to people that have barely touched them, and I mean pretty much everybody at our shows has told us like they found it really fun and really easy to get in and play. So
Yep.
and then each character will actually have their own tutorial. So for if you like tutorials, let's say that I really like Yuraku and I want to kind of know how to do more of her moves. Each character is going to have their own specific tutorial. So we have like a broad and then character specific. So it's really great for that kind of people who, don't typically play fighting games or just want to know more about the fighters that they're picking. It's a really great tool for you guys to have that.
Yep.
There was
Okay.
another question. I was gonna say something, and then Jess was like, "Show us how to do this." So, for example, if I do this move, and by that move I mean this one, I am now invisible
Yeah.
to Sean, so he cannot see me. He could turn his head over,
but
and,
he's
like,
not going to do that.
and
Nope.
cheat,
Nope.
but
Oh man.
I'll still get kicked out. Oh, there you go.
Yep. Snap you out of it. Uh-oh.
One of my favorite characters is in unlocked yet. I'll use that as an excuse.
Shower time.
Ah.
you need a shower.
To be fair, he might. He lives in a desert environment, so he probably sweats a lot.
Feeling better.
So I guess, well, on that note, why don't
Yeah.
we talk a little bit, give a little
Little
sneak
bit.
peek of some of the other characters that you'll be able to find in the early access version of Kansai Fighter when we launch this spring. So not yet featured in the demo. We
I
have,
think I can.
Arcade or train or
Yeah, I think I can
Yeah.
go. in the
sure,
arcade
yeah,
then-
and we can kind of, just hover. So we have Hitan.
that's my favorite.
Yeah, Hitan has a
She's not a ghost.
I like
Yeah.
to see it.
She has a variety of kick attacks, but more importantly, she has a flock of birds that follow her around the stage, 6 of them to be exact. And she can issue flock commands to have them do different zoning style area control attacks, as well as her super. So she's got pretty interesting style to her. We've got Yasu. Yasu is sort of a I'd describe her maybe as more of just a general good ground footsies character. She's swifter, and she has a lot of control when she's really close to the player. So
Usually a crowd favorite at the conventions.
Yes.
Whenever we go to conventions, they're like, "Is that an old lady?"
yeah,
And then like they're with their friends, right? And then
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh yeah, well I'm gonna fight you as the old lady. I'm
Yeah.
gonna kick your butt."
yeah.
And let me
usually
just tell
does
you,
well.
typically she's the one that wins.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause she might be old, but she's a
She's
fighter.
fast.
She's
Yeah.
spry.
And then if you head on over to the right to
Well,
Shinrao,
Actually, because you're kind of going into the fighting styles of each,
Sure.
why don't we just go around the horn?
Sure.
And you can kind of explain.
yeah, we could do that. So yeah, Kenta is,
Mhm.
as we've kind of shown, he's a little more of a brawler. He's got a lot of tanky aspects, and he prefers to be up close. And his hits, his individual strikes are very strong,
Mhm.
but he is a bit slower. Kyoki is more of our rushdown style character. She does a lot of fast strikes and combos, but they are individually kind of light hitting. She's got a lot of mobility.
A lot of
with-
aerial moves.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
aerial moves with her gymnast style. So Shinrao, he is, I would say, a little tricky to categorize. I've kind of slotted him into more of a pressure style character, but he has the ability to morph into different forms. He also has a lot of ability to kind of pop around the stage and do some different defensive and offensive tactics. And
Looks like
he's got a lot of good combo
no, it
capability
looks
as
like I'm
well.
looking at Shane.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I see what you
Hi, Logan. Yuraku, as we've shown, she is, I guess, a trapper style character. She lures in the opponents a lot with a variety of different tricks to get the upper hand with her stage traps or her whimper maneuver to regain some health, or just her broad area control with the water drop. But her melee attack, she calls upon her bow as her main weapon. Itami is more of a mix-up character. He does a lot of general ground work. He's a weapon master, so he has a whole bunch of different weapons that he can draw upon to unleash on his opponents, and he is one of our faster male characters in the game. And then we've got Isamu, who we've shown a good bit here. He's a good all-rounder character, great character to learn the basic fundamentals of the game with. And his main fighting style, he leverages his sword for a lot of sword-based attacks.
So Jess, because again, I also know like Ellen's favorite character is Itami. So why don't you kind of give us a little bit of like how you came up with his design, because he's super dope.
Yeah. Yeah, Tommy's design is really cool, and I really like our voice actor for him as well. But
Yeah, he's done a great job.
essentially, yeah, the chains and the spikes, and it all represents that part of Ayumu's emotion of like pain and torment. And I like this idea of the eternal flames on his back that don't make sense. You know, I like these kind of
I like how they
concepts
even go
that-
out at
'cause
times and then
it-
have to reignite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that just shows like where he's at emotionally, is to pay attention to his flames. So, yeah.
For those of you who are joining us on Steam, feel free to join in on the chat as well if you have any questions for any one of us, and we'll be happy to answer. Or again, wishlist the game, download the demo right now. You can fight against us when we do some online matches. And if
I saw
you are...
a question about. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I saw a question about microtransactions. Did you?
Yeah.
yeah.
So there will be none. So one of our core philosophies at Circean Studios, we are we're in this to make awesome games for you guys, and we don't do this for monetization purposes. You will never find MTX or advertisements or any of that in our games. The most you might see from us in, honestly, probably in future titles, not in Console Fighter, would be DLC. If we had a substantial enough amount of content we felt we needed to dedicate, development resources to a significant amount of work, and it added enough value to the game. But in general, we're old school. We miss the days where you could go out and buy a game and get all the content for that game and get a complete experience. And that's what we want to provide to our community through Console Fighter and all of our future IPs. So, you will never find MTX in Associate Studios game.
Well, and that's why one of the reasons we even have like multiplayer, you're more connecting directly to that other person.
Yeah.
We do use one online service internally that's one of Microsoft's services called PlayFab to do matchmaking. But other than that, like, you can still play just locally if you want. So you don't have to worry about servers being shut down.
Yeah.
Not be able to play the game.
And yeah, I mean, in the future, if it ever came to where we needed to switch to a different third party or open the standard up so the game could still live on, we would support that before we would let the game die. So
it'll be easy to swap out the way we built it.
Yep. Yeah.
What so we talked about this last week, or not last week, sorry, but on Monday during the stream. So just kind of, why don't you just kind of remind us again of kind of the inspiration behind the game, the inspiration behind the studio.
Yeah, I mean, let me actually start with the studio, since we haven't talked as much about that. I mean, we are kind of a small ragtag team, right? The core team is 4 of us. But we also have some members between our voice cast and our tutorial scripter, Ellen, and some of our digital artists.
Artists help us.
Yeah, assist with the project. But, really, I think our core philosophy is that we want our games to be first. We want our games to be, unique experiences for our community, and we want to celebrate gaming together. And hopefully we can make some awesome games that, allow us to continue making games. So, I often describe us more as like a rock band. Like, that's kind of how I view the team. We are intentionally small, and we intentionally have kind of limited resources because we really believe that, constraints breed creativity. And we want to make sure that our games are something special. So,
and we've been working on this for years in our spare time. So,
So, we are really excited to bring the game to you guys here at Steam Next Fest this year. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I mean, on why we're so excited is, again, I said this earlier, but this is the first time that anyone outside of a convention can actually
grab the game and try it.
Exactly. So, so please wishlist, join the Discord, and
try out the demo.
Yeah, try out the demo. I know that there's a lot of games that the demo is dropping at the end of Next Fest, which is Monday at noon.
We
Central.
will not be.
We will not be. So we are actually going to be taking place, and I'll be posting it on our social channels here tomorrow. But the next theme event is the Play Together event.
Yep.
And so
the demo will just keep rolling on into that.
So the demo will still be on there, because what is a better game to play together than a fighting game?
Yep. Yeah. But yes, I did mention briefly earlier, this is kind of a special version of the demo. Definitely try it out now, because I think we probably will be limiting the characters a little bit more once we get to early access. So this is kind of a timed thing, just special for these events, so that you can try out a little bit more of the characters up front.
And if you join our Discord...
I saw on our Discord...
Yeah,
go ahead. I saw on our Discord, like, some more information about the characters, so...
Yeah.
there's a lot of resources we can post
Yeah.
in the Discord.
Yeah, and it's a great place for you guys to give us feedback about the game, to report bugs, to hang out with other fighting game enthusiasts like ourselves, and chat about other games too. We talked about this on our stream on Monday, but we've been playing a couple other games in some other major series. Myself, I've been getting into Tekken 8 here recently, and there's been a lot of great titles coming out lately. So
For me, I've been playing Mortal Kombat 1.
yeah,
That's my. Yeah, I mean, if we're kind of talking about our favorite, maybe not favorite, but at least current, but at least my favorite fighting games, Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur
Yep.
are usually my two go-tos. I do like Street Fighter. I'm not very good at it, so it's not one I typically grab. And then Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Is usually one that I really like. And then, of course, Smash.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say Guilty Gear and Dead or Alive are two of my favorites.
Yeah.
In general, I like the speed and some of the style of gameplay.
Yeah, I like pretty much everything,
Oh, yeah.
but I've played a lot of Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, some King of Fighters, multiple other, Soul Cal, and
Yeah.
there's too many to list off, but the game I would say, Kansai Fighter, is probably most influenced by those 90 era fighters, probably akin to like a Street Fighter 2, but with some, some somewhat modern tweaks to it and different ideas mixed in. So
I like. I've always been a huge fan of the King of Fighters art style,
Yeah.
but I'm just terrible at playing that game. So yeah, that was a lot of my inspiration. And then playing it, I really love Tekken,
yeah,
and just for nostalgia, I enjoy Rival Schools. Do you remember?
oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
Rival
yeah,
Schools
yeah.
is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
I don't
there's
think
rumors.
I've heard of that.
There's rumors
really good.
that Virtua Fighter may be making a return as
Oh,
well.
interesting.
With
Oh,
all of
really?
the big Sega.
Well, they're so spoiler warning for anybody who might follow other game franchises that might. I'll say like a dragon. I'll leave it at like that.
Uh-huh.
If you don't want any spoilers, this is your warning. So give me 30 seconds. But I have heard that there is Virtua Fighter is basically included
Yeah.
a version of it in
They always
the
do that.
latest game,
Yeah.
and something
Really?
about that implies that maybe we might be seeing a new revival.
Ooh.
So I'll be very interested
Oh,
to
nice.
see what comes of that. Too far. Oh, just caught it on the edge.
Nice.
There we
There
go.
we go.
Yeah, the Yakuza games have always had like arcades somewhere
Yeah,
in the game, and they'll
yeah.
have like the entire
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Ah.
So, but yeah.
So if you're just joining, we have Discord, and you can wishlist and try our free demo.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll follow our social. We'll still do streams occasionally.
Yeah.
Talk about the game or maybe build Gundams. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, we typically do a either bi-monthly or every 6 weeks or so stream that's called Kansai Fighter Live, and that's basically our kind of game update on what we've been working on, what we've been doing to the game, and all that.
A lot of behind the scenes
Right.
look at the game's development.
Yeah. Tools, spreadsheets. fun
Yeah,
stuff.
well, just all sorts of cool stuff. You can follow us along as we continue the development of the game.
And then, like I said, our Discord is new. So again, you can join it by clicking the banner below, and we are going to be adding some perks for boosters as well.
Yep.
So keep that in mind if you're joining.
Yeah.
But
And Logan, could you just remind people joining what is this game about?
so,
Wrong mode.
Right. If we're talking about Kansai Fighter, so Kansai Fighter is this is a 2D a hand-drawn fighting game built by Circene Studios, us. And this is, again, our first game that we have made, and this is also the first time that it being on Steam to celebrate Next Fest. So, again, please wishlist, please download the demo. We'd love to hear your feedback. Join our Discord and kind of give us what stuff that you really liked about it, what maybe some things that didn't work out. We actually, to give you an example of how we are implementing feedback, we are on the official Steam Deck Discord, and there is a enter your games kind of section, and we actually had somebody already say like, hey, I'm playing on this custom fight stick using this Pi chip, and I'm having this issue. And we were like, okay, we're going to look into it. Luckily, we actually have that exact chip. So we are currently working on that to make sure that it's good. So again, this is why this is really great for you to go ahead and download the game, join the Discord, and give us that feedback, because, if there's a controller that doesn't work, I mean, I know that Microsoft recently, isn't supporting third-party, or I guess that's Xbox. Not Windows, but
well, even if you have a third-party controller, there's some really funky ones out there. So.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's the one that I've seen at NakaCon, which is our local anime convention here in Kansas City. There's actually a little bit of a fighting scene there, because they have a room that's just fighting games. There's a lot, I think it's mostly Smash, but there was a person that came to the booth who had a custom, it almost looked like a Sega controller, because it had like 6 buttons.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, honey, they were like, we plug this in? And we're like, sure. And so they were able to play the game with the controller, and there wasn't really any issue with it.
Yeah, even the custom one that the guy built, it's one where there's no joystick. You use buttons for movement and stuff. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
sorry to jump in. I just saw a question about how to do an online match. Would you guys be able to show us?
Yeah, we can hop in. Here. So
I apologize, I'm always interrupting.
Yeah,
but
no, it's
I'm
good.
I'm streaming from Japan, so there's a delay. I apologize.
So if you hop on over to the Versus tile on the main menu, and go over to Network and Online, you'll get match maked with whoever else is currently searching for a match online, it'll just hop you into a quick match. Got one here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yeah, this is our debut build featuring online play for the first time. So definitely grab the demo, hop in and try it out, and see who reigns supreme.
Yeah. Maybe you and a buddy can be like, hey, let's try out this demo, fight each other, and winner,
pays
for dinner.
Yep. Yeah, if you have a buddy that might dig the game, definitely hit them up and have them grab the demo as well. You can join each other's game through the Steam's friend list right now, so you can play a direct match with them without having to go through that online menu in the game.
A lot of people always ask, are you fighting on top of a bird?
We are.
That's when she's riding her feather, it's the bird's feather.
Oh, wow.
I should have had that. This is the problem with me talking and playing, but that's my excuse. No, but my burst didn't interrupt you because I did it during your invulnerable phase.
Oh yeah.
No, damn it.
Oh.
From the
from the
last stream, I was really impressed by
the timing.
I was really impressed by all the combos you guys are pulling off.
Yeah.
Logan
I
usually
would love to
does.
see if people playing the demo could record some of their combos they find.
Yeah.
Posted in Discord.
But looking at the clock, I am realizing we need to start winding down.
Yes.
Yep.
So thank you guys for joining, and definitely please wishlist the game, and try out the demo down below if you're watching us on Steam, or if you're not on Steam, why not hop over to Steam, grab the demo, join our Discord that is linked there below, and yeah, we hope to see you guys. Yeah, we hope to see you guys in the Discord community and in our future Kansui Fighter live streams, where we can catch up and talk about the game as we progress towards our early access launch, hopefully in this spring. So, yeah.
Yeah,
close.
and again, follow us on social
So
media.
excited.
We are on Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Again, send your if you have any fan work, tag us on at Cersei Studios on Instagram, and we would absolutely love to see it. Or join our Discord, and we have a fan art section in there. But otherwise,
Yay.
we're also and then. Again, we do these, if you see right above me, this Kansui Fighter Live. We do this show every 6 to 8 weeks to kind of update you guys on, what's new at the game and all that. So,
Yeah.
On that note,
Yeah.
Jas, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me all the way from Japan.
Yeah. 'Cause, we don't get.
You
to
can't
have
see me,
you
but you
enough.
can hear me.
Right. Yeah, he's
the voice
he's there.
from beyond.
But thank you all for joining us for our Q&A part 2 during Steam Next Fest. Again, please wishlist the game. Please try out the demo. We would love to hear what you think. And until that, we will see you
Tell
all
us
next
your
time.
favorite fighter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.